So another year, another Sri Chimnoy 5k Battersea full send coming up. Yeah, last time I did this, it was a very, very epic duel. Who knows what will happen today? I know one of the guys, Seifu Jamal, is running, and he's super fast. He's like I think he's run sub 14 minutes before. So yeah, I'm anticipating him flying ahead. But you know what, it's 5Ks, it's a race, anything can happen. But at the same time, yeah, I'm just going to focus on myself, run my own race. I've worked hard over the last few weeks. Last time I did a race was a 50k. This is a 5k, so 10 times shorter, hopefully 10 times faster. Let's go get it.
Time is ready? Okay, runners, have a great race. On your marks, get set, go! Let's go! Go, you go!
Okay, get that popcorn ready or make yourself a cup of coffee, because this is one epic duel and I have a feeling you're really going to enjoy this one. Here I am currently in third place, and I've got on-screen metrics the whole race, so you can see my pace, my heart rate and the distance. In case you are wondering whether the pace guide is correct, yes it is. I went out the gates flying. Mo and Seifu in front of me are way in front of me. I was going at around 235, 240 a k for this first bit. They must have been going around 230 per kilometer for the first few hundred meters. Just check out the gap that they had already opened. After quite a crazy opening in the first few hundred meters, I decided to just settle in my own groove, run my own race. If I tried to keep up with Seifu in front, then you'd probably find me washed up on the side of Battersea Park halfway through the race. Right now I'm thinking, I hope I don't get caught in no man's land. As we know, group running makes things so much easier. Remember, the first kilometer is all about an active warm-up. That's what you got to be thinking, and you got to control that adrenaline at the start. At the beginning, going out 235, 240 per k for the first 100 meters feels super comfortable, super easy, but at the same time, if you do damage then you'll pay for it at the latter parts of the race, and there's nothing you can do about it at that stage. Control that adrenaline. These 5k races are so intense that only 600 meters into the race, I've already gone above my threshold heart rate. Let's have a sneak peek at the chasing pack. Hey, that's a solid group that are coming for me. Just 700 meters into the race, and I can see Mo has dropped off Seifu a little bit. And deep down, I'm secretly hoping that some of the guys behind me can catch up to me so we can work together for a mutual cause. The guy catching me now in the red vest is from Dalit Runners. His name's Edward Chuck. We've had some epic duels in the past, and today looks to be no different. For reference, I'm currently 6'1", which is 186 centimeters, and weigh 76 kilograms. Within this race, my cadence was 190, so that means I take 190 steps per minute. And as you can see, I favored my right foot, 52% versus 48%, and predominantly because I'm right side dominant, but also because you turn left throughout the course. Boom, here we go, through the first kilometer in 2:55. What an opening. It's feeling super comfortable at this stage of the race, and I'm doing the maths. I'm thinking if I can do 4 more of these, then I'm on track for a 14:35, which is just 1 second off my PB. It's feeling fast, but it's feeling controlled, and I've got company. Things are looking good in this first kilometer. Sharp left turn coming up. I've learned from previous races that on those sharp bends in a shorter distance race like this, you've really got to accelerate into them, take them aggressively to avoid losing any time. The last 5k race I did was in February this year, and I managed to run 14:38. I surprised myself that day in a good way, but what I've come to realize over years of racing is that I really perform well under 2 conditions. 1, when it's super cold, and 2, when there's big groups and competition around. Given the fact that there's not massive groups in this race, and it's my first shorter distance race in a while post me doing the ultra marathon, I think anything sub 15 today would be a pretty good result. You've got to be so alert in these races. This lady came flying around the corner on this bike. Check it out. Watch Mo in front. But we survived, and we keep on keeping on. Remember, this park is open to all. They don't close it for this race, and that's completely fine. You just have to be very alert about things like that happening. Here we are, just 1.4 k's in, and I've reeled Mo in. I know we've had some epic duels in the past, and he's also doing Berlin Marathon, so check out for us there. He clearly decided that he wanted some group running as he dropped off quite significantly. Then as I came past, he tucked into the pack, which is probably a very smart call if he was feeling fatigued at that early stage of the race. Tuck in behind, and he's now probably using slightly less effort than what he was before. Nick, you wanted a race, buddy? Well, here you go, you've got one. A quick look back over my shoulder just to see how big this pack is. Remember, you don't want to look back because it shows a sign of weakness, but I can hear lots of footsteps behind me. The purpose of me looking back was twofold. One, to see how many runners were behind me, but two, to kind of hint, come on guys, does anybody want to come in front? Does anybody else want to do a little bit of work? I would love it if someone came in front of me, but at the same time, I'm not willing to drop off and slow significantly to allow that to happen. It's a short distance race and we need to keep our foot on the accelerator if we're going to break 15 minutes. Let me keep quiet for a bit so you can hear just how intense it is out there. Everybody chase the tall dude. Here we go through the second kilometer in 2:59. Not quite as fast as the first one, but we're finding our rhythm, we're finding our groove, and in my mind I'm thinking I can do 3 more sub 3 kilometers. That's the mini goal I've set myself. So I'm currently sitting in second place. No one in this pack behind me has come past me or next to me just yet. As you can see, I'm checking my watch quite regularly, probably a bit too often, but I want to make sure I'm not dropping off the intensity. Pushing yourself to your absolute max requires quite a lot of concentration, and I'm sure you can relate. Sometimes you go through a phase in a race where you just lose concentration, you end up losing time, and you've got to snap out of that and get back on it. To give you an idea of just how hard I'm working at the moment, my heart rate max in recent times is around 186. At the moment, I'm just 10 beats off that, and we're not even at the halfway mark. Oh, watching this back makes me miss Battersea Park so much. I've recently moved out of London into the countryside. The country roads are beautiful, but just have a look at this giant runner's paradise playground. Nearing the halfway mark, and we're on track for just under sub 15, but things get real in the second half, as we know. As you can see, the pack is not as tight as before, and there's a slight gap opening up between me and Ed, which is a sign that they're not as comfortable. Coming around here for the end of the first lap, where the support is pretty good here, have a listen to what it sounds like to us.
Good job, nice one guys, good job, well done. One more lap, nice go.
Let's go Nick, one more lap.
Big second lap coming up. This is where the magic is made, and this is where I envision training for the second half of the race. Those hard track sessions, those extra reps even at the end of your session, those are for the second half of these races right here. The guys behind me are dropping off ever so slightly, and I can sense it. It's giving me a bit of an adrenaline kick. My tail is up, and in my mind I'm thinking it's going to take a special kick from someone to overtake me in these last 2 kilometers. Here we go through the third kilometer in 3:01. Not quite the sub 3 mini goal that I set myself, but let's not let it dishearten us. 2 Ks to go. This third kilometer is all about grind. You grind it out. It's always the hardest, kilometer 3 to 4 on a 5K, because you're fatigued, you're tired, but you can't quite smell the finish just yet. As mentioned previously in the video, my heart rate max is around 186. So to a lot of people that actually might seem quite low. When it comes to heart rates, we're all born differently. Some of us have lower heart rates than others. Often when you get fitter, your heart rate tends to get lower. When you get older as well, your heart rate decreases. But it's all about having the biggest range that you can. So at the moment, my resting heart rate is about 37, 38. It used to be 34, 35, but it's gone up for some reason recently. And my heart rate high is around 186. So you really want your range to be as big as possible. Here you can see my heart rates throughout the 5K. So a gradual increase is what you're after, no sudden spiking. I managed to max out at 184. I probably would have liked a beat or two higher, but hey, the margins have become so fine. Ed behind me is dropping off, but hey, I've had enough duels with this guy in the past to know that he is not going anywhere. Remember, there's a very sharp left bend coming up. I'm going to accelerate. Let's see if I can make a gap here. A tiny surge on that sharp left bend, and it's opened up the gap quite significantly. With just under 1.5 kilometers to go, I think Ed's going to have to really close the gap and get next to me if he's going to finish in second place. It's one of those things where I'm hoping he comes next to me because it'll bring out the absolute best in me, but at the same time, your heart rate's through the roof, you're in pain, and you actually wouldn't mind not having a sprint finish. Just to go back to heart rate and how much effort I'm putting in, I ran 90% of this 5K within zone 5. Now it's taken years to be able to train the body to be able to do this. It does not get any easier. You just are able to handle the pain and able to push your body more and more each time you do it. Right now I'm thinking solo city, me versus me. There's no one on my tail anymore. I've done about a gazillion laps around Battersea. All that's left is a straight and a bend. Let's finish strong. Come on. Heart rate is at 180 and I am working. I would say at around 175 to 180, I can still acknowledge everyone around me. At 180, I'm basically seeing flames. All I want to do is get my body to the end as quickly as possible. Us versus sub 15, and that competitive side of me is really coming out. Through the 4th kilometer, again in 3:01, probably a few seconds more than I would have wanted, but we can't let that dishearten us again. Last kilometer, remember, it never counts. You can always find something in that last kilometer. Let's finish strong. Time is slowing down, but let's go and get that sub 15. Let's do what it takes. This is that stage of the race where you give it absolutely everything you have. If you're in a group, it doesn't matter. From here on in, it's solo running and get to that finish line as fast as possible. I take all the races that I do seriously, and this is the part in the race where I'm doing it for a special person that is no longer with me. The anniversary is coming up this week. I know that might be a little bit of an overshare, but whatever your reason for running, let that come out in this last kilometer, because that's when you truly need it.
Boom shakalaka, let's go!
Even though my heart rate is 180 and over, that boom shakalaka was so epic that I heard it, and every little bit of support picks you up at this stage of the race. The form is slipping, the lactate is building. When I looked at my watch right there, 400 meters in, I was averaging 3:06 per kilometer. I know if I sustain this pace, I'm going to fall short of a sub 15. I need to find something more in this last 500 meters.
Keep strong, Nick. He's coming.
That was Amy lying to me right there, but hey, it gave me an extra kick in my step, so thanks. Best lie you've ever told me. I know all about falling a few seconds short of my goals, and it hurts me so much. And I think after the race, when I sit down and take some time to myself, that feeling of falling just short, let that come out in these moments. Let that spur me right here, because I want to fall on the right side this time. Us runners are a stubborn bunch. Do what it takes to fall on the right side. Come on, Nick. I'm going to keep quiet so you can hear just how much of a full send. I'll give it all the way to the finish. Can we do it? Chase it, chase it, chase it, chase it. Everything you've got.
coming in to finish in 14:56. Edward Sharp coming in to finish. Well done, man. Well done.
Amy, legend. Oh. Woo! I will never ever take sub 15s for granted. They're not gonna last forever. That one I had to work super hard. Had to find something that last kilometer because I was slowing a bit. I knew it would be touch and go, but we dipped under. What a feeling. Time to train hard, soak this all in, and kick up off the back of this. The next time I do this race in 2 weeks time is with the Pro Evos. Let's see what we can do.